Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the meeting of the License Variance Board. Today is Wednesday, November the 11th, 2020. Happy Veterans Day to everybody, by the way. My name is Roy Acree. I'm the fire chief here in the city of Smyrna. To my left is Frank Martin, the Director of Public Works. To his left is Richard Garland, the Director of Parks and Rec. We also have Tina Monahan present for the official meeting minutes. First item on the agenda, LIC 2020-20, which is a privilege license agent change request for beer, wine, liquor, retail pouring, 2995 Atlanta Road, Building A, number 300, Bad Daddy's International, LLC, DBA, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, with Andrew Rattray as agent. Is the applicant present? You could please step forward, please. And for the record, if you could state your name. Hey, is here we go.
Andrew Rattray.
Good morning.
Morning.
So if you could, for the board, please just describe your role at this location.
Yes, sir. Just front of house manager, kind of taking over the bar and alcohol sales orders, and I do have a GM above me and a regional director above that. But for the most part, I handle the orders, the training, the overseeing of the bar and alcohol sales.
Okay. And have you ever been the registered agent for a location before?
No.
Okay. So what would you say are you typically at the restaurant?
Yes, I'm there 50 to 60 hours a week, yeah.
Okay.
5 days a week, 10 hours.
Okay. Did you bring any of those Parmesan garlic fries with you today?
No, the truffle fries, I did not.
That's just terrible. I'm kidding with you. So, for the record, we do have a copy of Mr. Rattray's responsible sales of alcohol permit, which is required. Also, for the record, the Smyrna Police Department has completed a background investigation and has found no reason or nothing that would preclude the issuance of this license. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve privilege license, agent change request, license 2020-20, beer and wine and liquor, retail pouring at 2995 Atlanta Road, Southeast Building A, number 300, Bad Daddy's International, LLC, DBA Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, with Andrew Rattray as agent. Formerly Philip Ray Barnes was the agent.
Second the motion.
We have a motion to approve this privilege license agent change request. Has been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is scheduled to be tabled. It is V-20-068 to reduce the side setback from 10 feet to 1 feet, land lot 560, 2790 Walker Court, Christy Sheehan. Again, this item is to be tabled until December 9th, 2020, but this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here that would either like to speak for or against V-20-068, I'd ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion to table till December 9th.
Motion to table V-20-068, reduce the side setback from 10 feet to 1 foot, land lot 560, address 27090 Walker Court, owner Christy Sheehan.
Second.
We have a motion to table that's been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. That item will be tabled to December 9th, 2020 License and Variance Board meeting. Okay, so it looks like the next 6 items on the agenda are all the same subject property, but we do have to hear those individually. The next item on the agenda is 3C, public hearing V-20-056 to reduce the northern side setback from 10 feet to 4 feet, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. Daniel and Jill Hutron are the applicants present. Good morning. If you could please state your name for the record. Is the microphone off again? Yes.
Yes, my name is Daniel Wheatron.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Jill Wheatron.
Good morning. So, like I said, I understand that this thing that you're requesting to do to this subject property requires 6 different variances. And as a board, we do have to hear and vote on each one of those individually. But just really kind of for the sake of the flow of how it goes, if you want to just kind of describe your entire property, what it is that you're trying to do, and then I'll ask staff to come up and give us some background.
Sure. How much, okay, detail do you want me to go into?
Just kind of talk to us about what it is that you're trying to do to the property, and
Sure.
just kind of a big picture view.
You can cut me off if I get too long. But, yeah, we've lived in this neighborhood since 2007, Williams Park. We love it. Had a couple different homes, restored one old one, and this is the next one we want to do to kind of be our retirement downsize home till they move us to the old folks' home. So it's a smaller lot. We're looking at that. We wanted less maintenance and stuff. And so there's a 900 square foot building on it now, home on it now that was built in the 1940s. We want to add a little bit more on to make a master bedroom, master bath, and that kind of thing. It fronts on Highland Avenue and on Old Roswell Road. And that's how my wife talked me into kind of doing this project, so I could have a detached garage. I'm a woodworker. I love to have a wood shop. So we can have a detached garage, hopefully, off of Old Roswell, which is kind of the back of the property. It fronts on Highland, which is the west side. And, yeah, we just kind of want to add on a porch in the front. The north side of the property and the house, we might get into this, maybe repeat it later, but the house is actually, the setback on the existing structure is 4 feet on the north side. So we want to kind of continue that property line as we extend the house back a little bit. And then that's one of the variances. So that's basically what we want to do, just make it a home for us to have that's going to be less maintenance and smaller size.
One story home.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is if you go on the south side where the point is, because we're right there where the point where Highland and Old Roswell come together. The first house there also faces Highland and backs on Old Roswell and has their garage on that side. So I had talked about a year ago to somebody in Public Works, and they said, well, it looks like because there's already something right there, that at least we could look at that. So ours would try to do the same thing. The only other property I know in the neighborhood who does that are the people behind us, which are the porches, Don and Helen Porch. They face Roswell and back on Old Roswell. So it's that little group right there has 2 fronts.
And just one other quick comment. As Rusty and Caitlin summarized in the memorandum very well, the other existing homes that are on Old Roswell Road and Highland Avenue, a lot of them are zoned RDA, and they have their newer homes that have 15-foot setbacks. So the variances we're asking for on the front and back, both fronts, side backs, the home will still be in line. We've kind of actually took some caution tape and put where the garage will sit off of Old Roswell, and it looks, and we actually had a friend that with a drone take some shots, and it looks beautifully in line with the other homes that are down on the street.
And one reason that we're really asking to move it closer to the garage closer to Old Roswell is that if we don't, we have no yard, none.
Right.
And so we're just trying to eke out just a tad in the middle.
Gotcha. Thank you both. Any questions at this time for the applicant? Okay. If you guys would just kind of have a seat, I'm going to call you back up in a minute. I'll call up Caitlin Crow with Community Development for background.
All right, good morning. Caitlin Crow, Planner 1, Community Development. So since there are 6 variances, this is going to be a bit of a longer one for us today. So bear with me, I'm going to hit each one separately. So these variances are first V20-056 to reduce the northern side setback from 10 feet to 4 feet. V20-057 to reduce the Highland Avenue front setback from 35 feet to 25 feet. V20-058 to reduce the southern side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet. V20-059 to reduce the Old Roswell Road front setback from 35 feet to 15 feet. V20-060 to increase accessory building size from 25% to 30%, and V20-061 to increase the impervious surface area from 35% to 46.2%. So the subject property is a 0.23 acre lot with road frontage on both Highland Avenue and Old Roswell Street. The applicant is seeking several variances to allow for the construction of a new detached garage and renovation of the existing single-family home on the subject property, as the Weetrons just mentioned. So Section 801 sets the setback requirements as well as the maximum impervious surface area for the R15 zoning district, whereas Section 501 addresses the accessory structures. The home renovation will include a new front porch, a carport, additional bedroom space, as well as an enclosed back porch. And to access the new garage in the rear of the property, the applicant will be installing a new driveway off of Old Roswell Road. So the renovation of the home will expand the existing footprint, adding roughly 2,000 square feet to create a 2,915 square foot single-story home. The heated area will only be about 2,200 square feet, but the porch will add some of that square footage. Since the subject property was constructed in 1947, it has a non-conforming side setback of 4.4 feet from that northern property line. So the requested side setback is based off of the location of the front of the existing home, as well as where the detached garage is going to be. So it does encroach into the side setback, but not closer than the existing home. And then the accessory structure location was also chosen to be encroaching into that side setback due to the existing speed hump on Old Roswell. That way there's no impediment there. And then part of the renovation does involve constructing a large, nice front porch that will encroach into the Highland Avenue front setback by 10 feet. But as the Weetrons mentioned, this does bring the front porch in line with the neighboring properties who are zoned RDA and thus have smaller zoning front setbacks. And additionally, this existing one-story structure is only 956 square feet currently. So by adding that additional 2,000 square feet, including the front porch, the home's going to be into compliance with that 2,000 minimum of the R15 zoning district. So next to the front porch will be a new carport, which will also encroach into the southern side setback by 5 feet. There is an existing gravel driveway there currently, so the most logical area to put that carport is over the driveway within the setback. And if we were to require them to move it within the setback, they would have to remove the driveway, thus causing further land disturbance to the area and disturbing the surrounding neighbors further. So the adjacent building to the south will already exceed the 10 feet separation, so there's no fire suppression system required. So then we're going to switch to going to the back of the property. So the applicant is proposing a 655 square foot detached garage on the rear, which again will be off of Old Roswell Road. So since the subject property has the double frontage on both roads, they're restricted to a 35-foot setback, whereas an accessory structure would typically only have a 5-foot rear setback. So this is considered their backyard by typical standards. So the detached garage was moved as close as possible to Old Roswell, as I mentioned, so that they have a bit of a backyard to use. So after the addition to the main structure, the one story will again have the heated square footage of 2,204 square feet, which means that the proposed garage, which is 655 square feet, exceeds the allowable 25% structure size by 5%. Since the structure does face Old Roswell Road, the applicants are trying to maintain a house-like performance or appearance rather. So they want to make it a little bit more architecturally interesting, a little bit more house-like. So thus they're going to add on a little bit more square footage for that office and woodworking shop, so it doesn't have that sterile boxy architecture. To construct the new detached garage, driveway, and addition, the impervious surface area is also going to be exceeded from the allowable 35 by roughly 11.2%. The applicant is proposing a mitigation plan that involves a flow well stormwater system, which will mitigate the impacts of the additional stormwater. The city engineer has reviewed this mitigation plan. It does support the variance, and that will be part of the building permit applications to submit the mitigation plan again. So community development believes the variances are the minimum variances needed to expand the single-story structure, keep it a single-story structure, and then add that detached garage in the rear. And community development has not received any phone calls regarding this request in opposition. So it has been properly posted, and there are no site distance issues per the city engineer. So after reviewing the variance application, staff does support all the requests and recommends approval for all 6 of the variances with the following conditions. 1, approval is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. 2, the detached garage is to be utilized by family members only. 3, the proposed garage shall not be rented or occupied for gain. And 4, these conditions shall run in perpetuity with the property and as such are also applicable to any future owner. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Caitlin. Any questions for staff?
Just one, I'd like to, just for clarification, items 2, 3, and 4 on the conditions are part of the zoning ordinance already. This is just a kind of a reiteration of those?
Correct. So we don't allow rental units on single-family zoning districts. It's typically when there is a secondary kitchen, but because this is a detached garage with a living space, in this case the office, we just wanted to ensure that, yes, this would not be turned into a rental unit.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I would call the applicants back forward, please. So we just heard Caitlin Crow read into official record the background on the project in its entirety to include where she concluded with the 4 conditions that are attached to this. Are you familiar with the conditions? Are you in agreement with those?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, we've read them and we're in agreement.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the applicants? Okay, so we're going to kind of go through these. At the end of each one, I'll ask each of you, plus Caitlin, if you have any additional things to add, anything to add in addition to what you've already said. If you don't have any, that's perfectly fine. So if there's no further questions, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak on behalf of item 3C, I'd ask that you step forward now. Please let the record state that the only people present are the applicants and city staff. So seeing no one come forward for public input, I'll entertain a motion for 3C.
Make a motion to approve V20-056, reduce the northern side setback from 10 feet to 4 feet, land lot 561, address 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second the motion.
We have a motion to approve 3C has been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? None opposed. Item passes unanimously, 3-0. Next item on the agenda is 3D, public hearing V20-057, reduce the Highland Avenue front setback from 35 to 25 feet, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add for this?
No, sir.
Okay, Caitlin, we're good. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak on behalf of item 3D, I'd ask that you step forward now. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve V20-057, reduce Highland Avenue front setback from 35 feet to 25 feet, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 3D that's been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, motion passes unanimously. Next item is 3E, V20-058, reduce the southern side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. Is there any additional information from the applicant or staff?
No, sir.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak on behalf of item 3E, I'd ask you to step forward now. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve V 20-058, reduce southern side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, land lot 561, address 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second the motion.
We have a motion to approve. It's been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is 3F, V 20-059, reduce the Old Roswell Road front setback from 35 to 15, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. I'll ask again, is there any additional information from staff or the applicant?
No, sir.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here who'd like to speak on behalf of item 3F, I'd ask that you step forward now. If there's no further questions and seeing no one step forward, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve V 20-059, reduce the Old Roswell Road front setback from 35 feet to 15 feet, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. 3F has been properly seconded. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is item 3G, public hearing V 20-060, increase accessory building size from 25 to 30%, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. I'm assuming there's no further, there's no one here other than the applicant and staff for public input. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for 3G.
Motion to approve V 20-060, increase accessory building size from 25% to 30%, land lot 561, address 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second.
I have a motion to approve that's been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 3H, V 20-061, increase impervious surface area from 35 to 46.2%, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue. I'm assuming there's no additional. There's also no one here for public input. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for 3H.
Motion to approve V 20-061, increase impervious surface area from 35% to 46.2%, land lot 561, 2619 Highland Avenue.
Second.
Have a motion to approve. It's been properly seconded. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Good luck.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Take care. Last item on the agenda is 4A, approval of the October 28, 2020 License Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the October 28, 2020 License Variance Board meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion approved has been properly seconded. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. It is 10:22. I'll adjourn the meeting.